and because you said yes. We're doing the 30-day guide to English fluency just to give you not just an idea, but the process of how to accomplish the workbook. If you are a beginner, this video is not for you because English fluency doesn't focus on the grammar basics, but rather on the vocabulary words, idioms, fixed phrases, and the like. When we say fluency in a language, this means speaking easily, reasonably quickly, and without having to stop and pause a lot. With lots of vocabulary words, it would be easier for you to express your thoughts. But if you are at a B1 level and you're not confident with your grammar yet, don't worry because your brain will figure out the rules as we move in the 30-day guide to English fluency. Why is it a 30-day guide, not a 7-day guide? English fluency takes years to achieve. That's why, as I teacher, I recommend reading books, watching English films, and practicing with English speakers to improve it. But learners have lots of excuses not to do so, especially when they do things alone. That's why I'm here to guide you. But remember, your willingness to improve and learn are the essentials you need to achieve the goal you want. If you are excited to improve your English fluency, continue watching and subscribe to this channel. Also, leave a comment that tells us that you've been part of the 30-day English fluency journey. Now, grab a pen and paper, and let's start the 30-day journey to English fluency. You have 30 minutes to accomplish 4 different tasks in this workbook. This is the only time you need to activate the English side of your brain. And I advise you to do this in the morning when your brain is still fresh and like a sponge that absorbs most of the information. Ready? I'll explain part 1 first. Here, you have 5 minutes of writing time. There's a question that you need to answer, and you should spend 5 minutes to write everything. Big reminder, spend 5 minutes because some students would just answer in 2 minutes and tell me, I don't have anything to write. You need to force yourself to write more and extract more ideas from your brain. It's like exercising. The more you force yourself to finish a set of push-ups, the more your muscles grow. Same here, so don't stop unless the timer stops. And don't worry about grammar and spelling. You'll figure it out later as we move on. Are you ready? Here's the question. How do you usually start your day? Describe your morning routine in detail. Your 5 minutes start now. Good job. You are taking responsibility for your own learning. Now, here's an example answer from me. Let's proceed to part 2. This is where the input comes from, YouTube videos. If in the first part, we developed your writing skills, here you're going to develop your listening skills. This is important in speaking and pronunciation. And as you continue the guide, you'll listen to different English accents. If you happen to check the free 5-day guide to English Fluency Workbook, in part 2, you'll find keywords that you can use to search for the appropriate video that is related to part 1. And this is super important because for the next parts of the activity, here, you need to watch at least a 10-minute video, or I think 8 minutes will do, and there should be no subtitles. You need to write at least 10 vocabulary words, idioms, phrasal verbs, or any phrase that you think is cool. Don't worry about the spelling, because we'll work it out later in part 3. Ready? Here the keywords would be start your day, how to start a day or morning routine.
This video was made possible by Notion. It's no secret, I love morning routines like how a fat kid loves cake, and maybe you should too. Rather than telling you the morning routine you should follow, let's cover some foundational components of what makes for a great way to start your day so that you too can create your own custom morning routine. Dr. Jabal, MedSchoolInsiders.com. I'm weird. In fact, I'm so weird that in medical school and residency, I refuse to rush my mornings, even at absurd hours. While doing plastic surgery, I often had to be in the hospital by 4:30 a.m. Most of my colleagues would roll out of bed at 4:10, throw on some clothes, and rush out the door, getting to the workroom just in the nick of time. I would wake up at 3 a.m., take my time dropping the kids off at the pool with my strong orthocolic reflex, brush my teeth, stretch, journal, meditate, make a real replacement protein shake, wash my blender, and get out the door by 4 a.m. so I could get to the workroom at least 10 minutes early. As they say, early is on time, and on time is late. Why would I sacrifice an hour of sleep for this? Am I really that nuts? Well, yes, but if you follow these steps and implement your own morning routine habits, you too may experience the magic of a well-calibrated morning routine. If you want to see what my current morning routine looks like, or what my morning routine in medical school and residency was like, I have videos of both on my Kevin Jubal MD channel. Links in the description below. First, drop the phone. This will be the hardest step for most of you. If you start your morning by checking social media, your email, and the news, you're suffocating the ability to set intentions for your day. This is a reactive way to start the morning rather than a proactive way. Tristan Harris, former Google design ethicist, describes it well. When we wake up in the morning and turn our phone over to see a list of notifications, it frames the experience of waking up in the morning around a menu of all the things I've missed since yesterday. By checking your phone as one of the first activities in the morning, you are willingly starting your day on someone else's terms. Got an angry email from a colleague? What about a confusing comment on social media? Or maybe it's news about a politician saying something nonsensical again that makes your blood boil. In this manner, you're limiting your starting point and trajectory of your day outside of your own control. You're being reactive. Rather, use the morning as a blank slate, a fresh start with endless possibilities. You decide your intentions on your own terms. This way, you're in the driver's seat. As Benjamin Hardy describes in his book, How to Consciously Design Your Ideal Future, the fastest way to move forward in life is not doing more. It starts with stopping the behaviors holding you back. Chaos breeds chaos and order breeds order. Start your day off with positive momentum with a small win by making your damn bed. Why should you make your bed? As Admiral William H. McRaven said in his UT Austin commencement speech, if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. By the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. If, by chance, you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that's made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. It doesn't have to be perfect. I take no more than 60 seconds to make my bed, and that alone makes my sex dungeon, bedroom, a much more pleasant place to be. If it seems like a chore you'd rather not do, just practice doing it for a couple weeks and you'll soon feel like it's not a big deal, because it really isn't. When you change in the morning, this also means throwing away your dirty clothes in the hamper and tidying anything else away in the closet. Champions don't start their day with clothes on the floor and their room in disarray.
¡Ey! ¡Para! Esto te interesa. Te queda poco tiempo para aprovechar el precio especial en Platzi y aprender de las tendencias digitales que están revolucionando el mundo. Todos los cursos por un año a un precio único. Últimos días, suscríbete ya.
Right after waking up, you probably use the toilet and you'll notice your urine is quite concentrated. Take this opportunity to rehydrate, and water is really all you need. If you choose coffee, keep in mind that caffeine inhibits antidiuretic hormone release, resulting in diuresis, meaning your kidneys excrete more water than they would normally. Decreasing friction, even in small ways, is an underrated component in motivating yourself to perform certain behaviors. For that reason, I always keep a large water bottle filled nearby, as it decreases the friction to stay hydrated. This way, I don't have to go through the trouble in the morning to go to the kitchen, grab a cup, and fill it up. I know, life is tough. The nutrition piece of the equation is optional here. First, I don't believe you necessarily need to eat anything in the mornings. I personally follow a 16-8 intermittent fasting schedule and start my feeding window at 12 p.m. several hours after waking up. That being said, if you are going to eat breakfast or snack in the morning, get the ball rolling in the right direction. Avoid garbage food like sugary cereals, Pop-Tarts, or sweetened yogurt. In fact, it's better to skip breakfast altogether rather than eating these highly processed foods. If you want to learn more about the science of nutrition optimization and intermittent fasting, make sure you're subscribed, as that's a video I'm excited to release on our Research Explained series in the near future. If there's one habit I never miss, even going all the way back to 2012, it's getting my body moving every morning. I created a custom mobility routine and I'm in love with it. I first roll out my thoracic spine on a trigger point foam roller, which has Goldilocks firmness, not too hard and not too soft. The PVC or ABS pipes are good for the lower body, but they're no fun on your back. Trust me, I've tried. Next, I use a lacrosse ball to roll out my piriformis and glutes, and then proceed to a custom stretching routine working on my hamstrings, hip flexors, forearms, lower back, groin, and much more. I'll have the full routine on my other channel. I've noticed when I do this mobility and stretching routine every morning, I stand with better posture, have more energy, and simply feel better. These beneficial effects were even more dramatic when I had a long day in the operating room or clinic. Given the compounding effects of starting your day off with such a simple yet profound habit, it's silly not to do this every morning. You certainly don't need to follow my exact routine, but I recommend you experiment with motion in some routine form every morning. Stick with it for a few weeks and reflect on how it makes you feel. You can thank me later. Before looking at your phone and reacting to the feces flung your way by life's proverbial misbehaving monkeys, take a quick moment to sit down and practice some mindfulness. For some people, this means following a guided meditation. For others, this means going for a walk outside without distraction. And for you, it may be something else. For me, it's Vipassana meditation, where I close my eyes and focus on my breath for 10 to 15 minutes. I won't go into the full details of how regular mindfulness practice will benefit you in multiple ways. Just remember that even Tim Ferriss notes that over 80% of his guests of world-class performers start their days with some form of mindfulness practice. Coincidence? I think not. Last, practice some reflection and set your intentions for the day. Some people like to combine this with mindfulness meditation, which is an entirely valid strategy. This may include visualization practices of what you envision for yourself later that day. I prefer using a journaling app, Day 1, which reminds me with a notification and auto-populates a custom template that I fill out each morning. This morning template includes writing about 3 gratitudes, 3 long-term goals, today's targets, and affirmations. This helps me center and start the day with a plan. The 3 targets for the day help me gain perspective on the day's to-do list and remind myself that just getting these 3 elements done would mean today is a win. I have a habit of focusing on things I didn't achieve or how things could be different, but celebrating even the small wins is important. Sometimes my 3 targets for the day aren't even work-related, like on vacation days or days where I'm intentionally trying to unwind and relax. It's a powerful way to shift the narrative from one of glass half empty to glass half full. Incorporating all of these elements into my routine currently takes me about an hour. If this all seems overwhelming, that's totally normal. Just try adding or modifying one element at a time, not everything all at once. And experiment for yourself. After over 10 years of intentional morning routine experimentation, I found that these are the key elements to a masterful morning routine, but let me know with a comment if yours are different.
Now that you have the vocabulary words, we'll proceed to part 3, search for the meaning of the words on Google. Here, you'll develop your reading skills. If you didn't achieve the 10 vocabulary words, don't feel bad. I'll fill those up for you. But before I give you the words I've written down, you have 10 minutes to search for the meaning and example sentences of the words you've written down. Your timer starts now. Here are some of the vocabulary words that I've written down and their meaning in example sentences. We're on Part 4, Rewrite Part 1. Highlight the words that you think you can use to rewrite the answer you've written in Part 1. In this part, you're making connections between your prior knowledge and the new knowledge by practicing them. You need to use the new vocabulary words and replace the old vocabulary words. Just to give you a clear picture, here's how I rewrote Part 1 using the new vocabulary words. No need to write an entirely different answer. In my case, I just chose the words that have the same meaning and replaced them. You can add sentences if you want, but remember you only have 5 minutes to do it if you won't be able to finish in 5 minutes. That's not a problem. Are you now ready to rewrite Part 1? Your timer starts now. Congratulations! Day 1 is done. Comment down below your experience. It was supposed to be just 30 minutes, but because I explained everything, it took longer. But if you want to do it at your own pace and choose the videos freely, you'll find the free 5-day guide to English fluency in the description below. You are in charge of your learning, and in this workbook, you'll not just learn English, but learn life. Subscribe and see you again tomorrow.